Have you ever noticed there's a certain kind of man who, after 65, just quietly disappears from the world? He no longer shows up at gatherings, stops keeping in touch with old friends. No texts, no calls, no social media updates. He doesn't remarry. He simply lives alone. And when people talk about him, it's usually with a gentle shake of the head. He's all alone now. Must be really lonely. No one to care for him, poor guy. But if you ever happen to walk past the small apartment of Mr. Wallace, a 74-year-old man living alone in Oregon, you wouldn't find a dim, gloomy light. You wouldn't feel sadness in the air. You'd smell the warm scent of freshly baked bread, hear soft eyes playing from an old radio, see a guitar leaning beside the window, and a gentle smile as he looks up and says, "I've never felt more alive than I do now." What truth could possibly lead to that transformation? What makes a man who lives alone seem so peaceful, so free? In this video, I'd like to invite you to explore 5 surprising truths about men who choose to remain single after 60. Things that at first may seem negative might actually unlock a new perspective on aging. If you see yourself in this story, or simply want to better understand the quiet lives of older men, please watch until the end. And don't forget to subscribe to Lifelong Wisdom. We'll walk this journey together with respect, with empathy, and with a little light for the days ahead. Truth 1 on living alone helps them rediscover freedom and self-worth. After his wife passed from a stroke, Mr. Wallace sank into a quiet emptiness he couldn't describe. He thought the rest of his life would revolve around just one thing: waiting for his kids to visit, waiting for a phone call, waiting for someone to need him. Then one afternoon, while sorting through old photo albums, he paused at a picture: a 25-year-old man wearing a leather jacket, holding a guitar, standing on a street in New York, radiant and full of dreams. He stared at it for a long while, and then laughed. Was I really that guy? That one question changed everything. He began asking himself, if no one expects anything from me anymore, then what am I free to do? No longer a husband, no longer actively parenting, no longer weighed down by silent expectations. For the first time in decades, he had the right to listen to himself. He picked up the guitar again, tried painting, started journaling each morning. Not for anyone else to read, just to remember that he still had feelings, that he was still alive. True freedom, he said, isn't about being alone. It's about no longer needing to play a role. And for many older men who live alone, it's that moment when no one else defines them, that they finally begin living as their true selves. Truth 2. They become stronger when living alone. In his younger years, Mr. Wallace used to believe that being strong meant never crying, never complaining, never showing weakness. But after more than 3 years of living alone, he realized true strength isn't hiding your loneliness. It's facing it. Every morning he makes breakfast by himself, no reminders, no one waiting. But he still gets up early, brews tea, slices fruit, and sets the table, as if preparing for a special guest. That guest, he came to realize, was himself. In the beginning, there were days he felt it was all pointless, days he skipped meals, days he stayed in bed. But over time he learned, living alone means you must become your own best friend. No one to nudge you to exercise? Then you have to pull yourself off the couch, lace up your shoes, and step outside. No one asking how your day was. Then you have to ask yourself, how am I feeling today? Did anything bring me joy? To some, living alone might feel like fear, but to Mr. Wallace, it became a form of inner training, like an old warrior quietly refining each move in solitude. No one sees it, but the strength built is deeper than anyone imagines. Truth 3. They have fewer people around, but more meaningful connections. In the past, Mr. Wallace's home was always full of people. Family, friends, neighbors, laughter, TVs buzzing, footsteps in every direction. It seemed joyful. But oddly enough, he still felt lonely. Now his apartment is just over 40 square meters, no regular visitors, and yet he no longer feels alone. Because over the years, he learned to curate his relationships. No more long, surface-level chats that left him empty. No more gatherings just to fill a void. Instead, a 15-minute weekly call with an old friend from high school. A handwritten letter now and then to his grandson in another state. A warm good morning to the elderly lady downstairs who also lives alone. Small moments, slow connections. Few, but real. Mr. Wallace once said, "When you live alone, you don't need many people. You just need the kind who make you feel truly alive." And maybe that's something many younger people today still haven't grasped. If you're still watching at this point, I want to ask you something. Is there someone in your life, just one person, who brings you peace when you think of them? If so, write their name or a message of thanks in the comments below. I'll read every single one, and I believe others will feel the warmth of your words too. Truth 4. They learn to heal and make peace with the past. There's something not many people talk about. Living alone often brings back old memories. For Mr. Wallace, those first evenings after retirement were deeply uncomfortable. No more voices, no more busyness to distract the mind, just him and the things he had spent a lifetime avoiding. Memories of a strict father, cracks in a broken marriage, youthful mistakes that had once kept him awake at night. It was hard to face them, but because there was no one left to play a role for, he started being honest with himself. Not to run away, not to blame, but simply to understand and let go. He said one day while making tea, he looked out through the sunny window, and in that peaceful moment, he saw clearly. I no longer need to pretend to be someone else. I just need to come back to myself with everything that's ever happened. Perhaps this is one of the greatest freedoms old age can offer us. Not the freedom to do something more, but the freedom to forgive, to end, and to begin again inside. And the most astonishing part, no one can take that away from you, even if you live alone, even if no one's by your side. Healing truly comes from within. Truth 5. They take better care of themselves. No one expects a man who lives alone to take better care of himself without reminders. But Mr. Wallace was different. Back when he lived with his wife and children, he left everything to others. Meals, taken care of by his wife. Health, managed by his doctor. Emotions, left for others to guess. But once he lived alone, everything reset. No one knocked on his door. No one pushed him. No one stepped in to take over. And in that silence, he began listening to his body. In the morning, he made himself a light meal. He walked around the neighborhood, not because someone told him to, but because it simply felt good. He taught himself how to breathe deeply, how to sleep better, how to choose fresh produce and keep regular checkups. It wasn't a grand transformation. It wasn't a dramatic makeover. It was just him learning to care for himself, as if he were caring for a dear friend. And you know what happened next? His body grew stronger. His mind became clearer. His gaze turned warmer. He once said something I'll never forget. I spent my life living for others, but when it was just me left, I finally learned how to live for myself. And that's not selfish at all. That stillness and solitude became the space where he could care, heal, and truly love himself, something he had never fully done before. What Mr. Wallace went through may be something a part of you has also touched. Not noisy, not crowded, just a quiet, humble life, yet holding pieces of true happiness. He didn't have a lot of money. He didn't have a packed schedule. He didn't have friends always surrounding him. But he did have a small home that stayed warm, a body that was improving day by day, and a heart that no longer blamed the past, now learning to be grateful for the present. I want to say this, my wise friends. Freedom doesn't come from whether someone is beside you. It comes from being able to sit with yourself and still feel whole. And a life like that costs nothing, needs no trophies, needs no permission. It only takes one small decision, to live as your true self. So if you're still on that journey, I know you're already doing wonderfully. If you're learning to love the quiet, then you are truly growing. Before you go, I'd like to ask, have you ever had a moment when you were completely alone and felt more peaceful than ever before? Please share it with me in the comments. I'm still here, listening. And if this video touched something in your heart, send it to a man you believe needs to be understood. Subscribe to the Lifelong Wisdom channel to explore more quiet yet profound life lessons with me. Thank you for staying until the end. Your presence and attention are the most precious gift for creators like me.